Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Harriet Wallace. Ann has the night off. Elmira now has a new interim police chief, but we still don't know why the former chief no longer has his job. Big Fox's Josh Feldberg reports that the controversy surrounding the police chief led to Elmira's largest city council meeting in recent memory.
Chris Thorne has been appointed interim police chief of the Elmira Police Department following a split decision vote by the Elmira City Council last night. The appointment comes less than 10 days after the city announced former Chief Alvarez no longer had his job. The topic drew one of the largest crowds at a council meeting that city officials said they had ever seen. Many spoke in support of former Chief Alvarez.
Because I don't feel that he was treated as he should be treated. He was not treated with courtesy and respect, which he's given to everyone he's come in contact with. He should have been given that courtesy. He was basically thrown to the wolves.
I don't have much information myself. I'd like to. He was my police chief, and without that knowledge of what happened, what rules would one break to get to that position, it leaves one in an easy spot. You don't know where you stand with your own council and representatives.
I have to say, in all my years of living in Elmira, that Chief Alvarez was the most active chief in the black community. He supported, he helped with the challenges that we had, and like what we said, I don't know if we're going to get that going forward.
I think the city is losing a trailblazer. I think he's the first of his kind for that position. Not saying that the next chief of police will not be, do what he does, but I do know that Alvarez is a person, he can go in any area and be respected because they know he really cares. And that's a hard feat to follow.
I spoke with Mayor Mandel after the meeting, and once again he declined to comment on former Chief Alvarez. There is no word on when or if any information regarding what happened to Chief Alvarez will come out, but Big Fox will continue to follow the story and will bring you any more details that may be released. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Elmira.
Officer Erica LaPierre makes history on the Elmira police force. LaPierre is the first ever female lieutenant in Elmira PD history. Lieutenant LaPierre, along with 6 other promoted colleagues, were commended by the force for their hard work and dedication. The promotions were made earlier this week on the 14th. The state police arrested 3 teens on several charges in the town of Veteran. State police stopped a car for speeding on State Route 13. The officer discovered that the car had been reported stolen in Ithaca. Police say following a search at the scene, they confiscated cocaine and these 4 illegal handguns. Dion Harriet, Charles Nimbahard, and Marcella Smith were arrested. Abortion pills will start being offered at public health clinics in New York City. The mayor says it's part of a sweeping new initiative for women's health. Morgan McKay has details.
New York City will be offering free abortion pills at 4 sexual health clinics as soon as Wednesday. After Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court last year, Mayor Eric Adams says he has been working to make sure reproductive health care is easily accessible to all New Yorkers.
No other city in the nation or in the world has a public health department that is providing medication abortion. We are the first.
Abortion pills are different than the morning after pill. Abortion pills can be used to end an early pregnancy within the first 11 weeks and are used in more than half of all U.S. abortions. They are also commonly used in New York City at all 11 public hospitals. However, hospitals will typically look to bill insurance companies, while city-run health clinics do not.
Are truly public clinics that are walk-up, all access, regardless of, we never take a single question about your insurance or your status. And that has played and has historically played a really important role in the city in providing care and sexual health services to people who often are pushed through the cracks.
According to health officials, these 4 clinics could potentially deliver up to 10,000 abortion pills a year. A sexual health clinic in the Bronx will be the first to roll out these abortion pills, followed by clinics in Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan. The city health commissioner says a rollout could take a full year due to federally mandated training.
We are a safe haven. We have set that out. But there are still these barriers to care, especially for the most marginalized.
Now, this announcement was part of a larger initiative the mayor is launching when it comes to women's health. The city will be tracking rates of cancer when it comes to women, as well as life expectancy. The mayor also wants to end the stigma when it comes to menopause. Reporting from the newsroom, I'm Morgan Mackay, Fox 5 News.
Guthrie is raising awareness for glaucoma this month. Glaucoma is the second leading cause of blindness worldwide. Minimally invasive surgeries are one technique to decrease the effects of glaucoma. While treatments are available, damages from glaucoma are difficult to handle. Guthrie is encouraging patients to get their annual eye screenings to catch this disease early. The Corning Museum of Glass's popular 2300 Degrees is back. You can mark your calendars for February 16th for next month's 2300. Netflix's shows Drink Masters and Blown Away will fuse during the event. Lauren Paler O'Brien, winning cocktail mixologist from Drink Masters, will bring cocktails to the party, while glass makers from CMOG perform live glass blowing demonstrations. The event will begin at 6 p.m. and go until 8. House Republicans are eager to get to work on their agenda. Plus, controversial Congressman George Santos is likely to be investigated with new allegations surfacing this week. Here's Carolyn Shively.
If there was any doubt that the newly seated House would be a 180 from the last one, take a look at the committee assignments made this week. Hardliners Marjorie Taylor Greene, Paul Gosar, and Lauren Boebert will all serve on the House Oversight Committee, giving them more power to push investigations into the Biden administration.
There are a number of Republicans in the House that are going to try to create political controversy on a significant number of investigations.
Joe Biden, be prepared, Greene wrote in a statement Tuesday, while Boebert pledged to investigate what she called the Biden family's shady business schemes.
The Oversight Committee is going to be very busy. There's a lot of oversight and accountability that we're going to be looking into. There are a lot of things that haven't been looked into for the last 2 years, and there are a lot of questions out there.
It's a major elevation for Greene and Gosar, both stripped of their committee assignments by Democrats last Congress. Greene will also serve on the Homeland Security Committee, prompting Congressman Richie Torres to tweet, "A QAnon conspiracy theorist plus January 6 insurrectionist doesn't belong on a committee that exists to fight extremism."
Calling you a disgrace.
Freshman member George Santos, accused of telling lie after lie about his background, was also seated on some lower-tier committees, just as he's denying a new scandal.
He conned a homeless military vet out of $3,000 for his service dog.
Congress is in recess this week. They're back in session on Tuesday. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Stay with us. Your complete forecast is still ahead. Plus this.
Electric vehicles are charging ahead. I'm Marianne Rafferty with a look at the battery-powered trucks and cars sparking attention. Coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
It's been nearly a week since our last big rain event, where on Friday we had just over 4/10 of an inch of accumulation, and we'll see that some bigger numbers like that may be a possibility. However, it is going to come with some icing potential yet again. We've been under a pretty mild weather pattern. That's what continues to bring these icing potentials. Now, as we head through the overnight, the one good signal that we're seeing is that locally temperatures are showing that we're staying just around that 36-degree threshold. Still cool enough into some of those upper air conditions where some icing is a possibility, so can't rule it out, but mostly rainfall looks to be our precipitation type. But that changes, especially farther off to the north that you travel, the farther off to the west that we travel, when the onset of the system works its way in. So note that we're underneath a winter weather advisory, bringing in the concern that this next system brings in that icing potential, where the concerns are definitely going to be stronger well off to the north, where temperatures will be a little bit cooler to start the day and will struggle to get to that freezing mark with that system on approach. So with the winter weather advisory in place, this is that system that we're watching. There's another leg of those front frontal system's pushing in, but it's running into the cooler air that's at the surface with that warmer air ahead of that system. So when you have those overlapping systems, you create this pocket, and that pocket is where that freezing rain can develop on those surfaces, creating very slick roadways. Before we see that as that system marches in, we are mostly rainfall. Still some cooler. You see little spots of pink, so some small icing in place, but most of our precipitation should be rainfall. We'll keep an isolated chance as we head into again then Thursday night, and then behind this system, that low is going to bring in some chances for some light snow showers, maybe tracking some lake effect snowfall. Locally, shouldn't see too much from that system, but we'll keep an eye on the potential. Now, not too much for widespread numbers popping up here locally, but you can see the reflectivities that there are going to be these spots, especially the change of these elevations that we have across the area will bring that potential of some of that freezing rain, maybe even seeing some snow showers depending on temperatures. Temperature and that pocket of some warm and cold air is going to be very, very dependent on where we see these kind of conditions develop. So keep yourself aware. Morning hours into the early afternoon. When it comes to rainfall, as mentioned, good dosing of some rain is possible, though, as the system works its way in. As we saw again, last week was our last chance that we saw this much rainfall. So another good, even a quarter of an inch to a half an inch will be a possibility as that system drapes its way on through as we head into the afternoon. Temperature-wise, as we do start off near the freezing mark, we climb into those 40s. So again, a pretty mild forecast in store. Now, as we head through the next few days, we're going to keep temperatures into those 30s, but still looking to be above average. Upper 30s on Friday. Friday we'll be tracking some scattered snow showers across the area. Again, not much for accumulation. May even have temperatures warm enough that we talk about isolated showers, but then we will be keeping an eye on another active forecast that will bring us more precipitation by the end of the weekend.
The party seems to be ending for Party City. Some CEOs sound off about work from home, and McDonald's celebrates one item's 40th year on the menu. CJ Papa has those stories and more in today's Business Briefs.
Party City is the latest casualty among the nation's retailers. The store known for birthday, holiday, and wedding supplies filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Online shopping and decreased demand hurting its bottom line. The restructuring should be complete by the second quarter. The CEO of Citigroup warning work-from-home staffers they'll be forced to work in the office if they're caught slacking off. At the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, Jane Fraser saying, quote, "We can see how productive someone is or isn't. If they're not being productive, we bring them back to the office or back to the site, and we give them the coaching they need until they get their productivity back up again." Meanwhile, the chief executive of BlackRock, the world's biggest asset manager, slamming work from home altogether, saying, quote, "Remote working has not worked." If you're looking for a new coffee maker, Twitter's got you covered. The social media giant is auctioning off a long list of items from its San Francisco headquarters, like this fancy espresso machine. It's all part of Elon Musk's latest attempt to drastically cut costs. Other products include this soundproof conference room booth, plus generic office furniture like these Knoll chairs, and the list goes on and on. And some good news if you're craving the golden arches, McDonald's is celebrating the McNuggets 40-year anniversary on its menu. The fast food chain is offering a free 6-piece on Wednesday, but only if you order through the app. That's business. I'm CJ Papa.
One of the biggest big tech firms is making some major job cuts. Microsoft says they'll cut about 10,000 jobs from their workforce. Those cuts could come in the human resources and engineering divisions. The moves follow other tech industry job cuts at places like Amazon and Meta Platforms. Tech experts believe more tech jobs could be cut by others in the near future. Several quarters of downturns in personal computers and device sales has hurt Microsoft. Electric vehicles are gaining new traction and charging ahead into the future. Marianne Rafferty takes a look at their growing success in the consumer market and which ones are earning top awards.
Big gains for electric vehicles and good news for climate activists. For the first time in history, EVs won 2 of 3 categories at the 2023 North American Car, Truck, and Utility Vehicle of the Year Awards.
The winner of the Truck of the Year,
Ford's F-150 Lightning pickup took the #1 spot in the truck category, with Kia's EV6 named top SUV.
A tremendous honor.
According to data from Cox Automotive, EV sales are at record highs, rising by 70% in the first 9 months of 2022. Electric vehicle shares of new automotive sales also jumped to nearly 6% last year alone. Meanwhile, Chevrolet is also trying to swoop in on EV sales. The company unveiling its new 2024 Corvette E-Ray, which can go 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds.
It's a pretty elegant solution that a few automakers have taken, and this is going to propel the Corvette to a new set of markets.
But vehicles aren't the only things getting greener. Goodyear is introducing new demonstration tires, not yet for sale, but that are made from 90% sustainable materials.
We're moving from petrochemicals to things like using recycled plastic bottles to use in polyester tire cords. We're using recycled steel in our steel wire tire cords as well, made through electric arc furnaces, which are much lower CO2 emissions.
Other natural ingredients in the tires include rice husk and pine tree resin. Goodyear is aiming to have a 100% sustainably made tire available by 2030.
Still ahead, hospitals nationwide are trying to cope with an ongoing nursing shortage. We'll tell you about one hospital in Illinois turning to robotic assistants to help out. Stay with us. High inflation is causing a record number of Americans to delay medical care, according to a recent Gallup poll, and the effects can be devastating for those patients. Carolyn Shively reports.
High inflation has another victim, your health. A new Gallup poll found that 38% of Americans say they or a family member put off medical care last year because of rising costs. That's a 12-point jump from 2021.
Premiums, co-pays, deductibles, everything is skyrocketing. So just like inflation, price of food and gas and rent, everything is going up.
Labor Department statistics indicate the price of medical care services rose by 4.1% in December year over year, helping push 27% of Americans to delay treatment for a serious medical condition.
I have a patient who came in with chest pain and they kept putting it off. They were worried about the cost. Because they put it off, their symptoms got worse. They ended up hospitalized.
The study covers last year, and administration officials point out that inflation cooled slightly in December, also noting that the Inflation Reduction Act, which aims to cut out-of-pocket drug costs, wasn't signed until August.
You think about the Inflation Reduction Act. That's going to lower prescription drug costs, lower medical costs. We know that's what the American people truly care about.
Americans certainly care about rising costs, with 74% telling Fox in December that inflation had caused them financial hardship over the last 6 months.
Their wages might be going up. The rate of inflation, regardless of what the Biden administration says, is eclipsing any gains they've made.
The Gallup poll also showed that women were more likely than men to put off medical treatment by a 12-point gap.
The COVID-19 pandemic has left many healthcare workers burned out and hospitals facing ongoing staffing shortages. Ted Lindner takes a look at how one medical center is turning to robotic nursing assistants to help deal with the challenges.
Robots may not completely solve the nation's ongoing nursing shortage, but staff at Elmhurst Memorial Hospital outside of Chicago say their 2 robot assistants have been lifesavers.
They are working 24/7 with only a short period of time to charge in between. We would need at least 6 people to do that amount of work.
The bots don't take care of patients.
I have a delivery.
Instead, both devices, named Moxie, transport medicine and other supplies throughout the extensive facility.
It leaves a lot more time for us to be able to focus on the patient.
The 2 robots make roughly 1,800 deliveries each month, racking up close to 1,000 miles worth of traveling around the hallways. Over the course of 6 months, hospital officials say the robots saved staff members more than 3,100 hours. Diligent Robotics, the company behind the bots, says using technology isn't about replacing human workers. Instead, it's about making sure that
the people that you do have are focused on what they need to be focused on.
The rise of robot assistants comes as nurses across the country say they can't properly take care of their patients because there's simply too many and too little staff.
It's all about the patient care and patient safety at the end of the day. We don't need it to be compromised every single shift.
Nurses at 2 New York City hospitals recently ended a 3-day strike to address staffing shortages and working conditions.
Stay with us. We'll have more after the break. We want to leave you with a smile. Duncan Hines is releasing some of Dolly Parton's favorite recipes as baking mixes. The line features fabulous fudgy and caramel turtle brownies, as well as cornbread and biscuit recipes. The mixes are expected to hit the shelves this month. Also, a limited edition Dolly's Baking Collection will be available on Duncan Hines' website starting February 8th. That collection includes What Would Dolly Do tea towels, spatulas, and recipe cards. I'm Scott Beadle. Thank you so much for watching.